I'm going to talk about the colors in the tarot cards in the Rider-Waite tarot deck. There's only just a handful of colors, and these colors on the back of the cards will correspond to the same color of Sephira that's on the Kabbalah Tree of Life. So, that being said, there's yellow, which connects to Tiferet. There's also blue, which connects to Hesed. And then there's also gray, which is Hokmah, which means wisdom, the second sphere. And the third sphere is called Binah, means understanding, and is black. And so when you have these colors, it always corresponds to this energy vibe of the Sephiro on the Kabbalah Tree of Life. And so that being said, let's start with the top one. So Hokmah is the second sphere on the Kabbalah Tree of Life, and it's gray. So all the gray that you see inside the tarot will connect to wisdom, Hokmah. And wisdom can be something that you just have a spark within you, like a godly insight, some sort of intuition. Now you like get a new clue into something and you see things a different way. I know like in Bina and then the black color background, you have to like earn it the hard way, kind of like this deeper understanding, having gone through a certain situation and overcoming and enduring. But Hokmah, it's more like you're starting to see like a sense of discernment before you make a mistake or make like a bad decision or go down the wrong path, something like that, where it's like this godly inside epiphany and you learn like a life lesson in a sense, but like it's more like a knowing, and it's like a deep wisdom is being learned, and you just see things in a different way, and you kind of see maybe who you are personally in your character. And because sometimes in certain situations that are very stressful or intense, they bring out a different side of you, and that different side of you could be ignited and sparked and awakened, and then you are a changed person after that. You either stand up for yourself, or you just overcome fear, or you just don't make the same mistakes anymore. You maybe stop a routine, or you just are wiser. And sometimes it just takes an instant or a situation to figure it all out. Like it all just came to me, and like tomorrow's a new day. The next one is Binah, number 3, third sphere. And so Binah means understanding, and it's ruled by the planet Saturn. And then the planet Saturn is something that always makes you feel like some sort of restriction. You have to earn your success, your prosperity, your overcome ego and karmic lessons. And so it's like you have to earn your fulfillment, earn your success, earn relationships. And sometimes you feel like you're doing it all on your own. And it just seems like sometimes things like this just take so long. And sometimes you feel like you're so close, but at the same time so far away. And it's just so close to obtain it, but there's some sort of sense of restriction and just a slowing down of like everything in general. And Saturn can be also this really strict parent who's just tough on you. And they want the best for you, but since they're so tough, you don't really see it as a blessing until finally you overcome and you face all those challenges, you get yourself out of the way, and you just do the work. And then finally at the end of it, after you succeed, that's when you're like really grateful that Saturn kind of energy was there to push you and was hard on you. So now you're stronger because of it. And because of that, you get this more well-rounded like vibe and understanding of all things, and you transition and evolve in your character and spirit. And so you just feel like you're more like well-rounded to see things in the big picture. And things that used to bother you just don't bother you anymore. You just have a deeper understanding of who you are and how you fit into the world. And kind of from there, you know where you're going. And it gives you a better sense of direction and maybe some confidence and more sense of certainty. The next one is the fourth sphere on the Kabbalah Tree of Life called Hesed. And Hesed means loving kindness and also signifies mercy. And so it's blue. And so all the blue backgrounds, you always can capture like this mildness, calmness, kind of like blindly optimistic, like going forward, everything's going to be okay. And, everything works out in the past. And so I think we're always being pushed forward. And so I think if the future is uncertain, we can kind of be certain that everything in the past worked out for us and we're okay. So I'm sure the future is going to be okay too. And you have a sense of like mildness, calmness, and it's It's good. Sometimes at these times of your life when you feel like just content, and then that's when you're ready for expansion. Because there's times where you can be really like in fear mode or just shut off and now open to change. And then you're not ready for expansion. You're not ready to step outside your comfort zone or take the leap of faith or follow someone's advice that tells you to do those things. So when you have the blue background, it's just like wanting to expand, wanting to evolve, and that Jupiter of expansion, wanting more, also like evolving, maybe even your knowledge, your curiosity of things, or trying something new, always wanting more knowledge, more love, more food, just more and more and more, and expanding whatever you're starting to create. It could be a relationship, business, or even your physical like health. You can just make it, improve it, and expand it. And it can expand, and for the worse, I guess, like a habit can become more so like glutton or into like some sort of substance or something. But for the most part, it's just always trying to say it's time to move on, time to expand and evolve for the better when it comes to the blue in tarot. And it's this kind of all calming overall sense of mildness and chill. And then we got the next one, which is the sixth sphere, which is Tiferet, and it's yellow cards, all the yellow backgrounds. And Tiferet is ruled by the sun, which is bright yellow. And so when you see a background yellow in the tarot, it always shows like there's a bright new future, and that things are kind of reaching their peak level, just like the sun gives energy and brings everything up to its brightest and most radiant. And so it's a very happy card, just knowing that everything is a bright future. I know the Hesed, you kind of get this like optimism, that kind of gets you like, well, open to changes. But I guess the sixth sphere, Tiferet, it's like the sun and those yellow cards. It just lets you know for certain that you are peaking and you keep moving forward. You got a bright new future. And I think that's it. You got the blue, the yellow, the black, and the gray. And then those are the colors of the tarot cards. And it's just knowing that, you kind of catch the like overall vibe of the card. And it really can like correspond to the readings and just make it a little bit deeper and more direct, and just give you a better understanding of the Rider-Waite Tarot and how a system corresponds with the Kabbalah Tree of Life and those colors. And also, people don't know it much, but I still do give tarot readings, and you can go to my website at grantisaactarot.com and set up a tarot reading. We do it through Zoom, and I record all of the sessions. I also do mentoring through my website. I'm doing one-on-one tarot reading mentorship, where I go really in depth and I teach you everything about the Rider-Waite, all the secrets and how to read the cards and all the spreads and how to do them in a practical way, straight to the point, direct. And it's a mixture of being intuitive and just using your like innate psychic abilities and just following your heart and trusting your guides or even your like spirit, spiritual insight and intuition. But it's also based on this like meticulous system of reading tarot cards that goes back to the Hermetic Kabbalah. But I think it's a mixture of those systems of just trusting your intuition, and then also, after the fact that you already have the system down, and the system already has a language of the symbols and the numbers and the colors. And then once you understand and become fluent in that language of symbolism, then reading the cards is really easy and fast and direct and to the point. And a lot of clients really value that. And they value like, the time saved and just getting to the point. Like, what do I need to hear? Like, do I move? Do I start the relationship? Do I break up? Do I quit my job? What's my life purpose? These sort of things. How do I make money? Where do I get to be happy? How do I make my relationship stronger? These sort of things. And the tarot answers them quick and direct.